Let's do this. Hey, I love Marshall. This is my third time here, and I am so excited because every time I come here, I see what can happen when somebody gets a brilliant idea and then acts on it. I am such a fan of your former mayor and first lady, to the degree that I can even forgive Ed. Is Ed here somewhere? Where are you, Ed? It's okay that you're not running for president, even though we really need you. When I was here the first time, which was 3 years ago, there was a panel on Sunday night that I will never forget. It was called What the Bible Says About What We Should Eat. And that set a precedent so that I thought it would be okay if I talked about the soul of food. Now, we're here this week with all kinds of science. I mean, we could just light this room with Bunsen burners. There are so many people who know the science of nutrition, the science of health and fitness. And if you think about it, even the cuisine is a science. I mean, Miyoko can take cashews and make cheese so amazing you could feed it to a French person. This is incredible. But I'm not like that. I've always been interested in the big picture and what it all means. I remember as a little girl reading that Einstein had said, I want to know God's thoughts. The rest is commentary. And I thought, I want to know God's thoughts too, just not the ones that have math in them. So I majored in religious studies. And actually, that sent me to England to write a thesis about vegans. So for a really long time, I've had the connection of the dietary choices and the spiritual life. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit tonight here in Marshall. You know, every time I am reminded that Eden was vegan, I just get real tickled. It's so interesting to me that in the Garden of Eden, nobody ate anybody. Even the animals who are carnivorous weren't carnivorous then. And in Genesis 1:29, God says, behold. And I've been told by people who are Bible scholars that that is really unusual. He wasn't big on behold, which means, hey, you guys, this is a big deal, listen up. But he said, behold. I have given you every plant with seeds in it from all around the earth. That's to be your food. And every tree that has fruit with seeds in it. Eat, enjoy. So that sounds to me like what we call around here a whole foods, plant-based diet. So let's think about what that includes. You got your fruit, and then there are those botanic fruits that we really treat like vegetables. So things like squash and pumpkins and peppers and tomatoes that have the seeds inside. And then there's nuts and seeds and grains and legumes. Pretty good diet. But something is missing. Who was listening carefully to see what was missing from a healthy, whole foods, plant-based diet, Eden style? Green salad. The greens weren't there. You know why? Because in Eden, there was no sickness and no death. The animals ate the greens. But a little bit later on, after the fall, and I find this so fascinating, whether you consider Genesis history or a beautiful ancient allegory, how fascinating that when sickness and death enter the picture, God says in Genesis 3:18, you eat the green herbs from the field. So I guess in a situation where illness and death don't enter in, eat what you want, as long as it's from the plant kingdom. But when you got sickness and death staring you in the face, you cannot do that without kale and collard greens. So that's what we've got going on. And you're going to hear this called all kinds of words this weekend. You'll hear whole food, plant-based diet, and vegan diet, and pure vegetarian diet, and even good karma diet. I made that one up and wrote a book about it. But whatever you call it, it's not a diet. If you look at it from the ancient Greek root of dieta, meaning way of life, it's more like that, because there is no kind of diet that is going to change your life and change the world the way this way of life will. It's way healthy, and you're going to hear about that all weekend. But again, as we're told in the book of Luke, life is more than food, the body is more than clothing. Now, this food is fabulous. Who's into this food already? And you know that this is just so good. And you know one of the other things that is really cool, if you don't have a reputation for being a very good cook, and then you start eating this food, everybody's gonna say, oh my gosh, she's like an amazing cook. And I mean, it's vegan and it's still really, really good. So actually the plants should be getting the credit, but you can take it, they won't care. Now, in terms of the clothing, if you want to take this out to its whole vegan ethical limits and avoid animal products in your clothing, you know, that used to be, oh, not pretty. I mean, some of you I know have been around this for a long time. Tracy McWhorter, Dr. Joel Kahn. I mean, we've been at this, and we remember macrame handbags and those cheap plastic shoes from Payless that would make your feet smell really bad and swell up. But those days are over, and to that end, I just have to say, I hope you can see, do you like my boots? Thank you, thank you. These are Kat Mendenhall boots. They are made right here in the nation of Texas, handmade by one of the remaining 35 custom boot makers in all of Texas, which is in all the world, because nobody else does this. These are completely vegan. The materials are all US sourced. They're breathable, they're eco-friendly, and they're just gorgeous. So when I hear somebody say, well, you can't make anything in America anymore, I say, excuse me, I happen to have me some boots. So there's a lot to this, but even beyond the food and the clothing, there's something deeper and there's something more. Any other way that you choose to eat, well, it'll do what it does. You can lose weight on any old diet, and then you gain it, and then you go on another diet. Has anybody done that besides me? I mean, that's just how diets go. And the fact is, a lot of diets can actually help your health, especially if you're used to eating fast food every day and food that doesn't have any nutrition at all. Good heavens. I mean, paleo is going to help that. This one, though, is the gold standard. And you'll be hearing about that all weekend from people who know a lot. But this is the gold standard in another way, too. It saves the lives of others. We all see life differently, and we see animal life differently. What does it mean? How much does their suffering matter? I'll tell you something that really turned that one around for me. It was a one-liner from an Indian philosopher named Mahavira. And he said, to every creature, his own life is very dear. I couldn't argue with that. As somebody who believes that when a sparrow falls, the father sees, I have to know that he also sees when a little baby boy chick is just hatched and then he gets suffocated or macerated because he can't lay eggs. And these little guys come from the hatcheries that provide the hens for the big old chicken egg operations and the nice lady up the road who lets her hens live out their whole life, and she's really nice. I think about those babies, and it doesn't matter whether that box of eggs says free range or or cage-free or roosts at the Hilton. That little baby doesn't get his life because he's a boy. So if I don't have to be part of that, to live and be healthy and do what I'm supposed to do on earth, why would I want to be part of that? This is exciting to me. Not only do I get to be healthy, but I get to help the other. When I first got into this a very long time ago, I had a kind of 3-part spiritual awakening. One part was this expansion of my ethics to include more and more of God's creatures. And one part of it was to eat more food that grew and way less food that was manufactured. I ate a lot. I ate enough to be 67 pounds bigger than now, and I did that a whole bunch of times. And then the third part of that awakening was that I kind of took my spiritual life very imperfectly, but tried at least to get it out of Sunday morning and into the whole week. And somebody at that time said to me, when this touches you anywhere, it touches you everywhere. And then it ripples. It ripples out, and it touches people you would never, ever think. And sometimes it just surprises the heck out of you. And that happened to me today. My flight was an hour late. I missed the rental car shuttle bus, and when I got to the Budget and Ava's place there in Dallas, I was convinced the apocalypse had happened and everybody on earth needed a rental car. So I was really nervous, and I turned my phone on to call my husband, because he's supposed to be there, sickness and in health, late planes and embarrassment and all the rest, and I noticed he had texted me. And he said, don't be mad. Spouses, you've heard, don't be mad. Don't be mad. I just spent $1,200 to buy a cow. Now, this is Texas, and I understand that maybe if your spouse said, I just spent $1,200 to buy a cow, you'd say, okay. We live in Manhattan, in a flippin' high-rise condo. And I thought, April Fool. And I called him and I said, great joke, great try, but look, I'm late, I'm in the rental car line from hell, I really don't have time for this. He said, Victoria, open the email and open the attachment to the New York Daily News, and you will see the article about the cow who escaped from the slaughterhouse. Fiction is repeated, in fact. And he went to the animal control in New York City, and they said if nobody claims him in 3 days, they're sending him back to the slaughterhouse. And my husband, and this is a direct quote, said, any cow that has the balls to escape from a slaughterhouse shouldn't have to go back. And I said, I've been in Texas long enough that I know that cows don't have balls, but that's all right. Might be a steer anyway, and we're in New York City, and we don't know the difference. I said, where is this cow? Hoping against hope that he wouldn't say in the guest bedroom. And he said, on our way to Jon Stewart's sanctuary in New Jersey. And he said, don't be mad, because when I talked to Farm Sanctuary, they said that if I'd called them first, maybe they could have gotten the cow for free, but I know I did the right thing. And he did. Now, in case there is someone in your life that you would love to go on this journey with you and they're just not interested, let me tell you that when I met this man 19 years ago, I actually started dating him because he was not a vegetarian Christian. I had always dated those, and they were very sensitive. But over time, things have changed, and I realize today he has become way sensitive. When this touches you anywhere, it touches you everywhere. If you've been around this a while, you know that this is miracles following miracles. It's a wonderful, wonderful way of life. And if you're brand new, oh my gosh, have I got a life for you. Everything is going to change. Your health, absolutely, but more than that. The very first book about reversing heart disease with a low-fat, virtually vegan diet, group support, and moderate exercise came out in 1990 from Dr. Dean Ornish, and in their publishing wisdom, Random House opted to call that book Dr. Dean Ornish's Program for Reversing Heart Disease. But Dr. Ornish told me that that wasn't his title, that what he wanted that book called was Opening Your Heart. Because he said, what happens in your chest is wonderful enough, but it pales compared to what happens much deeper on the inside. So if you're new, if you're just starting out, oh my gosh, what amazing things lie ahead for the next 2 days and the rest of your life. Thank you so much, Mandy and Ed and Crystal, for making me part of it. God bless you.